Hello, my name is Drew Tapia. This is going to be my midterm one review guide video. I'm basically just going to go ahead and go over um, some problems from the study guide. So let's go ahead and get started. The first question is: the following program called WizWaz is incorrect, and it's your job to fix it. This is what it's supposed to do. If n equals 0, print WizWaz. If n is greater than 0 and odd, print Wiz. And if n is greater than 0 and even, print Waz. Otherwise, press n itself. Alright, here was a look at the code. It's incorrect. So I went ahead and fixed it in my putty. So I'm going to go ahead and go over there. Make that a little bit bigger. Alrighty. So mine is under WizWaz. So I have the hashtag include IOStream, which needs to go in pretty much all your codes. I believe if not all of them. Using namespace standard, so you don't have to type it in on every line. Saves a lot of time. And then int main before every body of code. So we have an integer n, and then we're going to cout enter any number, and then we have the user input of the integer n. So basically what I did is he has in here the order kind of mixed up, and then also wrong cout statements. So what I went ahead and did is fix up the order, and basically I have is if n is equivalent to 0, cout WizWaz, and then n line, and then I used a else if statement to go ahead and do if n is greater than 0, and then and n modulus 2 is not 0, cout Wiz. So that's basically for all the odd numbers. It's going to print out Wiz. And then else if n is greater than 0 and n modulus 2 is equivalent to 0, cout Waz, which will basically print Waz if it's a even number greater than 0. Else it'll just cout the number. Alrighty, let's go ahead and give this a whiz. Alrighty. Go whiz was. Okay, enter any number. We'll go ahead and do 0 to see if the first part works of the code. So, okay, if you enter 0, it prints out whiz was, just like we wanted. Let's do an odd number. Let's go ahead with 5. Alright, so you enter 5, it's going to print out whiz. Let's go ahead with an even number, 4. We'll print out was. And then if it's not in number 0 or greater, let's say -1, it'll be -1, or -10 would be -10. Alrighty, so that pretty much sums up the first question. Let's go ahead and take a look at the second one. For question number 2, it says write code to draw an upside down triangle of height 8 and enter it into the text below. You don't have to write a complete program, just submit the lines that draw the triangle. You must use at least one loop. Alright, so running your code should produce the following output, just an upside down right triangle. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and go to my triangle folder I created. Similar thing, always the hashtag include IOStream using namespace standard int main. After that, I have a for loop that I created. Basically, for int equal to 0, I less than 8, it's going to increment. While this for loop, it's called a nested for loop, is basically going on. So I have for int k is equal to I, k less than 8 will also increment. So for the first one, it will see out the stars, and the second one, it'll end the line. So for the first, it'll be 0, and so therefore it'll output 8 stars and then end the line, and then basically keep running this loop until it has 8 as I essentially, and then it will stop running this loop. So let's go ahead and give this loop a try. Oh, what did I do? My noobness with Nano, don't mind me. I was messing with Vim, but I figured stick with the beginner stuff for the beginner for right now. Alright, let's go ahead and run triangle. Get my mouse out of the way. Alright, so as you can see, it needed to produce an upside down right triangle, ending after 8 iterations basically, for the height of 8th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then decreasing by 1 each one basically until it forms that right triangle. Alright, let's go ahead and look at question number 3. Complete the following code to convert every period, character, and input string to an exclamation point. The code has some fixed me's. Please fill them in with the correct code. Alrighty. Well, it says what should go here right above main. Well, I just talked about that a couple times. You're always going to have. Here, you know what? We'll just go ahead and look at the one I made. Make life much easier. Let's go pull it up. Nano, what is it? String. Alrighty. So always above main, you're going to have this hashtag include IOStream. Sometimes you'll have other includes. Those are just basically libraries that you're including that have pre-set codes that are basically made for you. I don't know if I'm totally explaining that right, but it's basically a library of stuff to make your life a lot easier. So appreciate it. And then using namespace standard is the same thing. Instead of having to type that a million times throughout your code, basically that just includes it for you, does your work for you. So always use those to make your life easy. And I think you need the library to call upon a lot of these useful things like cout and that kind of stuff. So, alrighty. Then after the main, we're gonna have to have a string basically called s because he's trying to use getLine, which basically with cn, if you were to type in a whole sentence, it would only get the first word of it, like enter. It would only collect enter basically out of that. It doesn't include white space. And so getLine is a way around that. It gets the whole line of what you type. So if you have this, it'll basically read the whole line of what they enter into the string that you're creating. So basically, I did that, and he has a cout there, the get line, and then I created a for loop again. Just seemed easiest with basically. We learned this, I think, in one of the Xi labs. I'm not the best at explaining it yet, but essentially what you're doing is for I less than the size of your string that gets typed in, it's gonna go through every character in the index of that string, and then basically if one of those characters at, so string at index of period, so basically if you have a period at the end of a sentence, it'll convert it to a question mark. And the reason that is with this if statement is that um, you have a double equals here, which is equivalent. And so if it's equivalent to a period, it'll assign it to an exclamation point. That's what one assignment versus I forget what it's called, but basically I'm gonna call it true equals because I'm a math person and that threw me off quite a bit, the double equals versus equals. So um yeah, and then he just has it printing out the string that gets typed in. So let's go ahead and give this program a try. I'm gonna go ahead and run string. So alright, insert a line of text. So he has, for examples, if the user types in, let's just go ahead and use that one. Bears, period. Man, I can't type. Beats, period. Battle. Wow, I'm struggling. Battlestar Galactica. It's because my keyboard keeps sticking. Super annoying. Alrighty. Oh wait, I don't need that. Alright, so it says if I type that in, it should look like this with exclamation points, which hopefully it will. And yep, there we go. That's exactly what we wanted. Go ahead and do another one. Welcome to Csci 40, period. Okay, perfect. So it seems to be working fine. Let's actually, here, let's try one thing. I wonder if we just went like this, if it would just, yep, okay. It would just make a bunch of exclamations. Perfect. So that is working good. Alrighty, let's go down here to the next question. Using words briefly explain the difference between the int and double types in C++. A couple sentences is plenty. Well, I'm not going to write that right now, but essentially an int holds whole numbers and it doesn't hold decimal values. So an int has to basically be a whole number. So here, for example, we'll go nano int.cpp. Alright, hashtag include iostream using namespace standard and main. Alrighty. So we're going to see out, basically, let's go 5 divided by 2. And that is going to be our whole program. So, go ahead and save that, yeah. There we go. 1 second. int.cpp, alright. Let's go ahead and run that program now. Oops. So you can't see that actually. We gotta put an inline in there at least so you can see it. Okay, inline. Let's try that again. Yeah, do that, and then. Okay, so 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, but when you're using integer division, basically, it's only going to produce 2 because it's just going to go with the biggest whole number and not the remainder. So, whereas with a double, say I went into here, and we could even clean this up a little bit and go like this, get some user input of x, and we'll make x, so that was with it being an int. So let's go ahead and save that. We'll just show that again real quick for good reference. Oh, actually, I had an idea though. So yeah, x divided by 2. Alright. Save modified buffer. Yes. Okay. Okay, so basically I'm going to try to divide by, say, 3 divided into 2. So it's only going to give me 1. Whereas if I change that integer, no, that's not what I wanted to do, into a double, it would actually give me a correct answer. So let's go ahead and save that. Okay. And so now if I type in 3, it'll give me 1.5 instead of just 1. So it'll actually include some decimal places, which is very handy for a lot of programs. So that was kind of an overdrawn explanation of ints versus doubles, but I felt like that kind of got the point across. Alrighty, let's go on. Convert the decimal number 40 to binary. I don't totally feel like explaining that, so we're going to go ahead and do the next question actually, because we're almost at 20 minutes here. Okay, so this is, I think, the last question on this anyways. Alrighty, so fill in the blanks of the following code with either an or, an or symbol or and symbol. That's a little tongue twister there. So that the last line prints I love CSCI, new line. Alrighty. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and just make this program real quick. Nano CSCI. Let's just go like that. Hashtag include iostream using namespace standard int main. Okay, so int x equals 42, int y, and I'm going to kind of just buzz through this because I'm getting close to time here. We got string s is equal to capital I. Yeah, okay. And then if x is greater than 47, and then we're going to go or here, because basically we want it to print love and not turtles in this situation, because we want it to say I love CSI 41, not I love turtles, then CSI. So basically we're going to use an or here because we want it, it's not, 42 is not greater than 47, but 17 is less than 22. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and use the or there, and then if y is less than 22, and then we'll go s equals s plus love, okay, and then if, oh no, and then basically we don't need that next one, but if you could put an and there, and see, I can't copy that over, but you know what, we'll just write it out, that's fine. Take an extra couple seconds. Modulus 2 is equivalent to 0. And because we want this to equivalent to false, basically, because we don't want it to print out s equals s plus turtles. Alrighty, and so we got, oh no, we got that. And then s equals s plus c sci. Inline, and then we'll just go ahead and see out s after that, and then we'll go return, oh my gosh, return 0, and that should be a full program. What did I name that again? I think I named it CSCI, I think, oh, it's lowercase, okay, good. CSCI.pcp. That was not what I wanted. Wow. How do I exit out of this? Of course I mess up at the end. Interesting. Just want to quit. Alright. Oh, that's fun. That didn't work. Alright, we're gonna have to exit out of this real quick. Load, open. Sorry, everybody. I did something that was not enjoyed by the server. So, where was I? Let's try this again. Oh, it didn't like that. Well, that's That's interesting. Let's do it. I like how he has it. I guess I didn't like the inline saying. So, uh, backslash, oh, backslash in. Let's see if it'll be okay with it if I do it this way. You know, and let's get rid of the returned C out S. Yeah, let's go like that. Okay. Alright, let's try that. Okay, that seemed to work. There we go. And there we go. We wanted to print I love CSCI new line. Alright, so basically that sums up my review video. Some fun errors, I guess, right there. I don't know what I did wrong, but that's why I am just a rookie. So hopefully that helps somebody, maybe, if not myself. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording. Bye, y'all.